This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC lightweight division.
Ultimate Fighting Championship isn't about making friends, and that's fitting, because this game is so complicated, you won't have any time to. This is UFC Undisputed 2010. Now let's get it on!
Round 1 is underway. Nice work.
The world's most popular and prestigious organization for mixed martial arts, Ultimate Fighting Championship made its first legitimate leap into the realm of video games with UFC Undisputed 2009. A game that definitely had some flaws, but was still a very good recreation of the world's fiercest and trendiest form of blood-soaked entertainment. Less than a year after Undisputed threw its powerful first punch, the 2010 edition follows up with another. And although it's not quite a knockout blow, UFC Undisputed 2010 does hit harder than its predecessor.
Beautiful hip toss. He's isolating an arm. He's got a Kimura him.
If you're unfamiliar with the sport, mixed martial arts is aptly named. It mixes professional fighting styles ranging from boxing and jiu-jitsu to various forms of grappling. In fact, if you can imagine the steel cage matches popularized in professional wrestling, only with real fighting and no fun characters, that's basically MMA. And yeah, it's pretty brutal.
He hurt him with that elbow, Mike. Oh, big elbow!
It's all over. What?
Incidentally, it's also pretty popular. And UFC Undisputed 2010 feels designed specifically for the throngs of supplement-guzzling fans who worship the octagon. The presentation is just spot on, from announcers and referees to even the slightest visual cues. It does a fantastic job of bringing an authentic UFC feel to the game. There's loads of fan service, including PS3 exclusive video of classic UFC fights, and more than 100 playable UFC fighters, not to mention hundreds of unique fighting maneuvers spread across plenty of distinct fighting styles. But you know, MMA is a deceptively complex sport, and with all those unique moves and attacks, the video game version is no different. Now, longtime veterans of fighting games and those familiar with the first UFC game probably won't have much trouble learning the ropes, but they'll be the only ones who don't. Unfortunately, the tutorial is a bit too cumbersome to be a very effective teacher, as it throws more menus at you than helpful tips or guidance. In fact, the game throws menus like Chuck Liddell throws haymakers. Most of UFC Undisputed 2010's several modes, especially the career mode, are filled with more menus and pop-up windows than a computer infected with spyware. And not only are they tedious, but they're a bit confusing to navigate as well. Of course, there wouldn't be so many menus if there weren't so many modes, and fortunately, there are plenty of modes, the heart of which is definitely the career mode. You create a fighter, level him up RPG style, and guide him from an MMA noob to a championship contender. In addition, there's also an interesting online mode that allows you and your friends to create your own UFC gym and earn your reputation against others. It's essentially Undisputed's twist on online clans. But strangely enough, playing online requires a code that's included with every retail copy of the game. Of course, if you buy it used or if you rent the game, you'll also need to buy a code to take it online, so keep that in mind when shopping for your own copy. Like the brutish fighters who headline it, UFC Undisputed 2010 is pretty intimidating. Unless you're experienced inside the octagon, the game's complex mechanics and controls are gonna leave you on your back. But dedicated MMA fans and those familiar with fighting games reliant on button combinations are gonna love what this game has to offer. It may not be for everyone, but then again, neither is elbowing people in the face until they lose consciousness. And UFC Undisputed 2010 is a deep and rewarding opportunity to do precisely that.
the winner